This is Targan coming at you with another game of hardcore Minecraft. And you know the drill. We're gonna look at ghasts. They're gonna be happy, they're gonna be in the sky, everything's good. We're just gonna hang around, find something to do. Inventory management, you know. Other things of that nature. We need to make some tools. We might get on that immediately before I get distracted with other things. So what we'll do first is probably just go and farm up a bit of wheat, because we're gonna need to do some mending, right? Oh, it's so weird looking fancy. I just got this armor yesterday. You know, you get used to wearing diamond after 500 days or so of it. But we'll just grab some wheat and then, you know, get right on it. You know, it doesn't seem right to be farming in armor, but it's very important. Long ago, like, you know, in September of last year or whatever, I once lost an early hardcore world to just such an event. Although, like, I didn't know anything back then, right? I wasn't wearing armor like this. I don't actually know if an Enderman has got me since then. It might have been the last one. Is there a box over here? Nope, there's a box right here. Good. Hey, Orange Froggy, good morning. You just woke up? Yes, I woke up like 2 hours ago, but it takes me a little bit of getting up to get out of bed. If I have to start doing stuff as soon as I get up, I just won't do it. Give Hank the cow dog a nice little pork chop there. Hank loves his pork chops. Get some... yeah, might as well. Carrot it up. You know, we could actually grow these right, but... you know, what's the point? Because if you don't have them right next to another crop on, like, you know, on the other sides, it's better to have, like, a row of wheat, I think, and then a row of carrots rather than, you know, 4 and 4 or whatnot. But since it's not like I'm, you know, time limited and just waiting for the carrots to get bigger, I mean, not over much. There are probably a bunch of carrots somewhere, I just don't know where they are. Getting a little crowded, you know. A smarter player would make this fence bigger. You know, why don't we? After all, if we want to pretend to be smarter, and who doesn't, wouldn't that be a good way to do it? Alright, first we'll need some trees for fencing. Of course, the best place to do that is, you know, over here where they won't be missed, because nobody cares about oak trees anyway. was gonna be like, someone has been trying to shoot me with arrows, and then I realized it was me. I was the one at fault. Alright, now they have more space. What a good job I've done. You know, it would still be enough to make them crunch us, probably, just because they're very strongly carrot motivated, but it's more room, you know, we could have made it even larger. With just the addition of a couple of other blocks, we could have increased the area dramatically. Say such a chill stream? Well, thank you, you know. It's always nice to just hang out in Minecraft, I think. You know, I know I bring it up all the time, but I've only been playing like a year and a day now, so a bunch of the stuff that other people will have done, like a whole lot of in this game, I just, you know, haven't done so much of. So it's still fun for me to, you know, wake up and feed the pigs, you know. 'Cause, you know, you can get too good at a game, right? You can lose all the joy. Yeah, they're popping each other to cram there just to try to get at the carrot over here. Very sad. But hey, what are you gonna do? We're gonna break that block and move it over here is what we're gonna do. We could make it further away, but, you know, we didn't, so I don't know why I even said that out loud. Like that, you know what's going on too long. that block not being there. That's gone on too long. These don't need to be there at all. Do I have a bucket on me? I do not. That is alright. At some point, we're going to have to make this village better, you know? Like, including making buildings that make sense for the professions. But, you know, life is very long, and we'll have plenty of time for that. You know, in the future. The future, some people think it's a time, some people think that the future is like a place that you could just, like, go to. But I know the future is whatever happens whenever I finally start playing Minecraft the right way and build proper places for these people to do business in. In my survival world, I just got like, oh no! That dude woke up in the middle of the night being chased by a zombie and was like, wait, a block here? Why, I could become a butcher after all? And now I'm like, you know what, you couldn't though. Oh, it woke him up out of bed, he was so startled. I'm like, you know why you couldn't become a butcher? Because you won't buy pork. Rabbit. Chicken. Ridiculous. But anyway, we had an objective. What was it? Ah, yes. Mending. We need to make a bigger cow pen. Or even a smaller one that's closer to the house so Hank can guard over it. Because he doesn't need to guard this cow pasture specifically, right? He doesn't. Hank would be happy with any job that, you know, fit his exact qualifications. Here, have a good pork chop. You know, you don't want to feed him beef because you don't want to give him the wrong idea. No, Hank's a good dog. He would never. We should get different colors as sheep. These are fun, but like, as in my survival world, I'm like, man, you know what's better than this? Pink sheep and orange sheep. Light blue sheep. You gotta, like, we gotta get way more vaporwave than this, right? That's not a good place for wheat. What is, though? This? Yes. And are you saying to yourself, is this a good place for random building materials? Guy who's trying to do stuff right? Orange Frog, you say you're still watching Just Playing Tower Trash? Well, cool, you know. Appreciate you still hanging out. What level are you? What level are you targeting on the old Geometry Dash, Froggy? Anything I would have heard of? You know, actually, maybe it's just psychological, but I almost feel like I can tell the difference in the armor. Like, because I don't get knocked back as much, right? Yeah. It's actually, it feels like my character model's a lot stickier. Especially, like, getting shot by the arrows is when I really thought I noticed it, which I think I did notice it, in addition to thinking that I noticed it. just wanted to... Need to test something. Because, like, the farmers plant stuff, I don't think they can irrigate the land. So, like, when they walk through the irrigation, because the irrigation is not a great setup, like if it had, you know, slabs, then they wouldn't be able to tromp on it. But I want to see if the farmers plant stuff, because if they do, that could be cool. You know, it could work something out there, maybe. If you're wondering, has it taken you a year to check if the farmer villagers actually do stuff, and if so, what they do? I mean, yeah, technically. About a year. No. The first day I played Minecraft, I didn't even know there were villagers, so I couldn't have learned then. As in the foundational episode, I Got a Cat, where, you guessed it, I got a cat. Because I saw one, you know, by this village when I discovered the village, and then I was like, how can I convince this cat to be my friend? And I'm like, well, I have this fish, perhaps I will, you know, lure it with a fish. And then it ended up being the exact right thing to do. You know, maybe we shouldn't leave this bed here, but, you know, whatever. Oh, you don't buy pork? Then what good are ya? These zombies are really coming in from all over, huh? Alright, so what do we want to do? We need to craft a silk touch pick. That's actually really important, right? We can't forget to do that, because if I do, then I'm gonna get annoyed. I don't remember if one of the librarians has a silk touch pick. So we are, or a silk touch book for sale. We wouldn't have specifically tried to get one, you know, there is an efficiency 5 one up. There you go, yep. Answer is yes. We're just gonna grab some books. And we'll need to buy that, and we'll buy a mending book. And... you know, we might actually have to go to the vault for emeralds, because I think we might actually not have them. Ha! What a ridiculous joke. I was like, maybe they're all where they're supposed to be. They aren't. I knew I would find some if I looked in some boxes. Alright, there's a silk touch. Where is Borges? there is an efficiency 5 librarian in here somewhere. We just need to find him. Like, isn't there? Did that librarian seriously, like, reset? Did we never... Maybe we never bought the efficiency 5 book and they got bored? No, I'm like, it doesn't sound credible. There we go. Alright, we don't have enough emeralds. Great. Well, we'll go get some. How? I don't know. I'll have to think of something. Yeah, we'll sell that guy some pumpkins. That'll do. No, not him. Him. Good enough. We need to replant the melon field anyway. There we go. Seems fine. The rain calmly following reminds us that we have nothing to worry about. Everything is gonna be okay. I love the sound of rain, both in Minecraft and in the world. It's slightly nicer in Minecraft, because in the world sometimes it can, like, fall on your head. And then you can sing a song about it, but, you know, it doesn't always make you feel better. Now you may be asking yourself, what's the best Raindrops song? Probably Raindrops by Regina Spektor. You know, there's a lot of competition for the best Raindrops song, but I think that's probably the right answer. Hi, the animation cat. How are you? How's everyone doing? Well, I think it's just me and you right now, but maybe Froggy's in the chat still, too. But, yeah, I'm doing just fine. Just having a nice little morning before I go off and get into my weekend. I broke my Silk Touch pick the other day, so I need to... Is it sticks you make tools out of, or planks? You know, I always just use the internal thing. Do we have diamonds in here? No, I moved them. Of course I did. Are they in the ender chest? Yes. And I don't have a Silk Touch pick to move them. That'll be okay. We're gonna have one by the end of this. You could say it could be a comfort game, rage game, or a horror game sometimes. Oh yeah, absolutely. There's certainly a couple of places in this world that that give me a strong horror feeling. You know, the deep darks. I get a little squirrely every time I walk into them. Sometimes it's a sad game. Oh, for sure. You know, it's day 566 here in this hardcore world, but I've only been playing Minecraft for like a year, right? And I've had my share of sadnesses on my route to having a hardcore world where I'm dressed like this. Which I just got this armor yesterday. It does make me look very handsome, though. Very fancy indeed. But, where was I? The Silk Touch pick. We just need to get, like, Unbreaking 3 on one. We only have enough for, like, one roll on it, though. Yeah, it's not ideal. I mean, we can just get Unbreaking on it later. We don't need the F4 at all. because we got an F5 book. Man, I hate to be like, we'll do it later. We'll do it later, though. Wait, how does one enchant the anvil? I'm like, why am I acting like I don't know how this works? There we go. There we go. And now we have a Silk Touch pick that doesn't have Unbreaking 3 on it. And when we level up some more, which shouldn't take too long, we can deal with that. Or not. We're going to take some books to the librarians real quick and realize that we should leave some emeralds in there too. Say ranking either sound calming or have the one mildly sad feeling? Yep, for sure, for sure. Today's your first time coding? Oh, how fun. You learned some basics in an old website. Well, you know, the great thing about something like computer programming is, you know, it expands on the foundations. So, you know, everybody starts with the same basis, which is nothing, and then you can learn a little bit from there if you're so inclined. I don't know anything about it myself. I mean, like, what? How? Literally how? I don't love that they're in there. I guess they might have chosen to fall into it. I thought we had trimmed the wall back far enough. Apparently not for these jokers. Alright, so now the problem is that they're in my pig field and I don't want them to be. All right. You said it's a lot of hardcore days? Yeah, you know, this is actually... Here, we'll take a little look around. I don't have a ton longer to play, so... I'm always touring stuff. But this is the first world I've ever beat the Ender Dragon in, right? And it's still the only one I have. I've never beat the game except in this hardcore world. My previous hardcore world, we died on day 334. When I faced the Ender Dragon for the first time and shot a crystal at point-blank range. But here's just a small tour of this world. Perhaps my favorite world seed that I've ever been in, and my home here. So this cherry tree we planted at spawn, that oak tree was the first thing we saw, right? We're looking out towards this ocean, which is very promising as a hardcore seed anyway, right? Ocean, good. And then we turn village, good. We turn a snowy mountain capped with a ring of cherry tree grove around it. This is very promising because these are like my favorite. The villager's face look like Squidward's. Oh no, for sure. And then... You know, since we're taking the tour, we'll go ahead and go to sleep real quick. Some mountain goats. You know, some people may wonder, what's the best mountain goat song? Well, there are many schools of thought. But, so I built this river here. Maybe the best mountain goat song is like, maybe like, maize stalk drinking blood. That's a good one. You know that line where he's like, this is an empty country and I am the king and I should not be allowed to touch anything. What a good little couplet. It's like, just the phrasing of, and I should not be allowed to touch anything is so wonderful. But anyway, this is my world. I built this river. This village I found. I built this entire river. There was nothing here before. I built this lake. I built this nice waterfall. Here's my house. Those floating islands I built, of course, you know, they're not much. I built that little artificial badlands there in the distance. Like I said, I've only been playing Minecraft like a year, and often what I do is dig a big hole somewhere. Like, I built a canal that went a couple thousand blocks to return the mooshes. Ah, yes, you wouldn't know the family. Well, we're gonna introduce everyone anyway, so we'll swirl around. Yes, Minecraft Lo-Fi would hit hard indeed. A lot of it already sounds sort of, you know, Lo-Fi-ish. Either that or, and I've considered this often, you know, maybe Lo-Fi beats to study/relax to are the way they are because they're trying to remind people of Minecraft because this is the most accessible, you know, audio memory for the vast majority of people. Because, if I'm not mistaken, Minecraft's the best-selling single-player game of all time. You know, we got Leo there. This is probably Mikey here. Nope, he's somewhere else. I don't know. Raph is over here. Raph always hangs out here. You know, he's cool but rude. Maybe Mikey relocated over here. I don't know where Donatello is. He could have been, like, struck by a bolt of lightning, I guess. I think that actually can happen to turtles. I've seen it happen. Not in real life. Wow, that would be something. But Timo Cool Kid. Hey, you said finally you didn't miss another stream. Well, it's only going to go on for like 5 or 10 more minutes. But it's basically been this the whole time anyway. But yeah, so here are our ghasts. Let me introduce them. I love them very much. We need to get some more. We're going to do a council of ghasts. They're going to be down here in this valley where we fought the Wither. So here are the ghaslings that we have so far. Here in the purple, Agastus. Of course, wearing black, we have the beautifully named Batgasmobile. Batgasmobile, which is objectively a wonderful name. That one's courtesy of Natasha. This is probably Gaston here. Yep, this is Gaston. You know, with H, of course. This would probably be Gaspar. Gaspar. And then we'll have this Happy Ghast over here, which I don't believe we've named yet. It's hard to think of perfect names for them. Yep, this is the newly hatched one. And then, of course, here, the full-blooded member of the crime family, Cornelius Vandergast. Except no substitutes. Anyway, Cornelius is the best. He's the linchpin of all of them. But, so, I'm almost out of rockets. You say it's been too long since you played Minecraft? Well, you know, a good time to come back. With the addition of the Happy Ghasts, which are objectively both adorable and very cool. Because you can, like, you know, float on them. And then jump here, and then you can, like, build, you know. You can hang out and do your thing. You can leash like a horse or whatever to the bottom and then airlift things using the ghast, which is, you know, obviously very excellent. We return home. This is home, you know, we used to live in just this tiny little room, but not too long ago we expanded the house a lot more. You know, we keep our trophies here, like the dragon egg and, you know, that kind of thing. But you know what time it is. It's time to introduce everyone to the crime family. You know them, you love them, and if you don't know them, you probably love them anyway. Here he is. It's Garuda, the boss. Atropa, the Watcher in the Dark. We got Calcite, his dog. Luca, the muscle. Bella, consigliere. And of course, Mr. Pump, watching over the vault. Anything else to do? I mean, no, not really. No, not really. I don't have any gunpowder laying around, because why would I? And the next night, we'll just have to... We'll just have to fight through it and get a bunch of rockets, because we're almost out. And that's all there is to it there. But I'm having the best time, but unfortunately, we are coming to the end. I gotta get on with my day. For as much as I wish all I did was play Minecraft, I wish I had more money than I had, and it's not very punk rock to have a job, but, you know, I want to pay my rent. So, with that in mind, I invite you all to sit, stand, or kneel for the playing of our national anthem, Other Side by Lena Raine. You say you don't even make videos, but you have almost 40 subs somehow? Well, you know, maybe some people, you know, if you go around and comment places, people might, you know, follow you to see whatever thing. And hey, if you ever want to start making stuff, you've already got a small audience ready built. I remember 11 years ago, whenever I made my channel, it's not like 11 years ago to the day, I think it was in July that I did my very first video of 2014. But, you know, you know, there was nobody that was going to be watching it. I just, you know, I made a name and threw the video on YouTube. And then 10 years later, I had 300 subscribers. What a happy place. What a happy load of guests. You know, there's much to do. Not least to think of some names and, you know, get some harnesses on them. And then there's, like, the whole decoration. So, I didn't talk about it. So, the Council of Ghast will have one representative of each of the dye colors, right? And then they're going to be, with the valley where I killed the Wither, there on the other side of the hillside where Augustus reigns. Named, of course, for the Emperor Augustus, who I don't like, but it was a good name, so, you know, what are you going to do? So they're going to be in, you know, like, color-themed places, mostly. So, you know, the pink ghast will be, you know, up there on the side with the cherry grove, you know. The green ghast will, you know, have, you know, the nether trees or whatever, that kind of thing, you know. So we'll do, like, a sort of wheel of color for the ones. And, of course, we'll make the Batcave for Batghastmobile. De Fledermaus. De Fledermaus is how you say the bat in German. It's also a reference to a very famous television show where they had a throwaway joke where a character said, De Fledermaus! Basically just like that. And, you know, iconic, right? But as the moon rises and the sun sets, it unfortunately is time for the sun to set on this video. Although I'm having the best time, and honestly, I could just putter around and do basically nothing for a super long time. Timo said, depending on the colors of the biome, yeah, we're not going to have them super far away, right? The idea is that they'll all be like in basically one big area, but you know, like each with their own little color. but yeah, Danny, so you understand the Fledermaus. But you know, say goodbye to everybody. Goodbye, Cornelius. Cornelius Vandergast may be the greatest name that I have ever come up with for anything. I love him so much, and it's a great name. But yeah, but Cornelius, he's like a full-blooded member of the crime family, like all the others here. Actually, when he first hatched and became massive and huge like he is now, rather than little baby Gasling Cornelius, we put the harness on him. The very first ride, there was like a pillager raid, so we used him as like an Air Force thing, and then we destroyed our enemies, so, you know, he got into the crime family right then. And we didn't say hello to Doug or the Mooshes, which is very sad, and we're gonna go do that now before we end. But here are the remaining members of the crime family, if you were not acquainted before, you are now. Say hello to Mooshy Smalls and Baby Moosh. They're a rapping duo, of course, you know, a rapping and songwriting duo. They're best friends. We once built a canal a couple of thousand blocks to return them here. And then, of course, Doug. Doug's a good Doug. Doug is a tremendous help in our archaeological efforts and, you know, efforts to bring, you know, ancient botany back to the real world, as seen with these torch flowers. But yes, Cornelius Vandergast. Which is, again, objectively just the most wonderful name that I have ever come up with. Normally I would just rocket up to the top, but I have like 0 rockets left for flying. You say you don't understand Minecraft in the slightest, but it's adorable. Everybody plays it a different way, you know. Most people don't choose to put this many bookshelves up, or like a painting of Marcus Aurelius, or of some nice skulls on the wall, but it's very me, you know. And most people don't have a bird named after Luca Brasi from The Godfather. But you can do almost anything you want. But yeah, Danny, there's actually fan art of some of these characters, because so all the members of the crime family that are long-standing, you know, they reincarnate into the world. So when we died in the last world, you know, we found Garuda again here, and we found Tropa and Belladonna, although it took 500 days to find a Tropa. She was hiding in the dark. And the Mooshes and stuff, so we were able to retrieve them. But yeah, there's fan art done of Mooshy Smalls in the style of, like, the Notorious B.I.G. with, like, the crown thing. It's, if you could look on, like, the community posts on my channel page, you may be able to find it. And then, also, like, of Garuda. So, like, you have to pay him his tribute. Garuda's the boss of the family, right? So you have to pay him his siege tribute whenever you show up. There's one of him, like, looking over, like, where are my seeds, Tarquinius? Because sometimes I forget them. But, yeah, so most people spend their time building great things, and I just, like, dig a big river and, you know, name my pets and manage my inventory badly. But the game's super fun, and yeah, you know. It's day 567, and we lay down, it'll be day 568, and I still will never die. But, yeah, and that's that. I'm having a great time. I really wish that I didn't have to go to work, but I absolutely do, so that is what I'm gonna do. So, say goodbye to the Ninja Turtles, everybody. There's Raphael over there. Of course, we got Leonardo holding court. Nobody knows what happened to Donatello. He's probably off being smarter than everybody or something. What a dork. But, that's all I've got for you today. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Really hope you've enjoyed, and perhaps I'll see you in another stream or video. I should be on later today at some point, perhaps in 13 hours, perhaps before then. It's hard to say. Bye, Danny. Bye, Timo Coolkid. Bye, Animation Cat. And if you're watching in the future, I hope the weather is nice. And, well, that will be that then. See you guys.